Good Thursday morning, everyone. Welcome back. You're watching the Kaiser Report. I'm John, coming to you today again with some more news about the putting together of the new cabinet that Donald Trump is making announcements left and right and is fast and furious at doing it. And he came out yesterday with his choice for AG, which is Getz. And the media, especially Joe Scarborough, is losing his mind over this. They're out this morning, he and Mika, saying to everybody about how fair and balanced that they need to become now because they may have been a little one-sided before. Well, it turns out that there's a lot of bad blood between Getz and Joe Scarborough, who he has basically said was on the lunatic fringe of leftism and a liar. So there's no love lost there, and he's already started to point out everything wrong. Joe Scarborough is pointing out everything wrong about Getz. And, well, there's a lot of meltdown right now among the left-stream media because they are being called out on some of the things they did, not only through this election, but through the year, and then past accusations against Donald Trump that didn't go very well and didn't have much meaning and have been debunked, and it still has become a point of contention when it comes to pointing the finger at things that Trump may or may not have done, and in most cases you'll find out that it's been debunked, and all through this election they kept talking about the Charlottesville, they were all good people, that kind of nonsense that has already been disproven. The January 6th crap that they came up with and still want to hang their hat on has been disproven. And the leakers and whistleblowers are coming out with, in some cases, the not-so-fun truth of it all. So, well, anyway, here, take a look.
Remember the last guy when he was president, he said we have retired, he had
You're wondering if it's hard to be a therapist right now. It is. It really is.
We had an open primary and she won it.
If the president were to step aside, that there would be an open primary. That didn't happen because the president endorsed Kamala Harris immediately. That really made it almost impossible to have a primary.
Anybody else feel like the red heart emoji has been totally ruined for them after this week? And now I feel like a red heart emoji implies MAGA. And so I no longer know how to punctuate my sentences. I just realized that I'm too scared to use dating apps now.
Those chicks are so pissed that Trump would, shaving their heads, screaming that they're going to go on a sex strike. You can't threaten people by taking something away that no one wanted in the first place. Also, I don't know what you're doing going on a sex strike. Some of you really need a hunger strike.
How could you possibly vote for a man, a straight white male, of all people, a straight white male? How could you do that? How could you do that to us?
It's very, very interesting, isn't it? who's leaving the country, who's canceling their subscriptions, who's doing this and who's doing that, instead of getting behind fixing the government that is broken right now and has been broken for quite some time. If you look at except for the interruption of the 2016 Trump win, you've had, from the Obama years on, nothing but problems to deal with, and created problems by the Democratic Party, who, in their infinite wisdom of trying to play games in this last election, obviously lost, and their trickery didn't work. And because of poll watchers that were put out in droves, didn't get an opportunity to back those trucks with the phony ballots up like they did or suspected to have done in 2020.
Cheaters! Yeah, cheaters!
The meeting at the White House yesterday went very cordially. I thought the raging fire was a little bit much, and it drowned out a lot of the audio quality of what they were saying, but that was for the news. And when the news was dismissed from the room, they went on to a 2-hour meeting, which I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall for, because God only knows how that conversation went, but I have an assurance that it was peaceful and that there will be a peaceful transfer of government officials here. And I'm looking forward to that. It's been very happy days for people around since the election. I see more and more people that are now relaxed and showing more quality of peace of mind than they had been up to the election, which is important because we want to get our society back on track of thinking about what's right, bringing God back into the country, bringing God back into our school systems, and bringing peace and tranquility among our citizenry here in the United States. And someone dealing with the border situation is very, very welcome to most people that I know and I have talked to about this since the finalization of the election.
Oh, snap.
I guess it won't be final until the 20th or the 6th, rather, when they go and certify the elections. And God only knows what maniacal plans that the left is coming up with to thwart, because they're saying it out loud that we've got to stop him, we've got to stop him, we've got to stop.
That's creepy.
Well, I don't think that getting in front of a freight train like the Trump organization that he's putting together right now for a cabinet will be a very easy thing to do. You'll get run over pretty quick. This man is not only a very smart man and who has been tried to be discredited for being stupid, being clownish, being this, that, and the other thing. He's a regular person, and I think the fact that Joe Rogan had him on the program and spent 3 hours with him should have proven to anybody watching the Joe Rogan interview that this is a real person.
That's the fact, Jack! That's the fact, Jack!
A person is a family man, a person that has ideas, a successful person. And yes, the naysayers will tell you all about where is his airline, where is the beef industry, where is this, where is that. This man buys and sells, and the reason that he has been successful is he has the vision to look forward, which we have not been doing for the last 4 years, and make things happen and negotiate plans, and diplomacy is a part of his negotiation abilities, which we need right now when we talk to Russia, when we talk to China, And when we talk to these people in the Middle East, whether it is Yemen, whether it is Iran, or the Houthis, or you name it, we have to negotiate with these people, and we have to come to a cessation of all of this nonsense that is taking place across the United States today with protests. And Europe and the rest of the world needs to be brought to the understanding that we are willing to negotiate with any person or country that needs negotiating with, but war is not the answer to anything. War is, unfortunately, something that has taken place since the beginning of time, but we now need to find other methods of getting our points across other than picking up arms and destroying a country, a people, or anything that's related. So I'm looking forward to that negotiating prowess that he brings back to the White House one more time. And I'm hoping in my heart of hearts that he's picking the right people. Do I think that Getz is the definite person for AG? I don't know. I don't know the man. I don't know his background. But I understand that he's a loyalist, and he is willing to make the changes that he sees that are wrong. But it's up to our Senate to either confirm or deny his application or his appointment, and we'll see how that goes.
These things must be done delicately.
As far as Pete Hotstreth goes, with regard to the defense position, yes, they're saying he doesn't have the experience. But here's the thing. He's a civilian. He's no longer in the military. And it's a civilian position. Number one, you need to understand that. It's not a military position. And Trump's statement was he didn't want a general telling other generals what to do, which is a smart move based on what we have seen with what we have now.
Ain't war hell?
But I am very, very optimistic about his picks. Of course, I think that cleaning up the financial area of the United States and putting together this Doge thing that they're talking about is probably a good deal. That's not a cabinet position, so it will not need to be confirmed. But we have a lot of waste and a lot of spending going on in this country that is not good at all, and it needs to be brought into a focus point of getting the budget on its way to be a balanced budget at some point in one of these administrations that are upcoming. If not this one, the next one should carry that through. However, when you look at the amount of federal used buildings that are being leased or owned right now, it is in the $1 trillion area of real estate that has less than 2% occupancy of these government areas because people are still working from home as a result of COVID, and they've taken advantage of that. So we're paying for empty buildings, and we're heating empty buildings, and we're cooling empty buildings, and paying a very premium price in rent or mortgages. So if that alone gets cut back, we'll see a significant decrease in government spending on wasteful product. The other thing is we no longer should be funding, the sex life of mosquitoes and trans operations on monkeys and things of that type that we are paying through the nose taxpayer monies for somebody's small interest in these areas. And they're doing very well while the rest of us are worried about the price of a gallon of milk. So take that into consideration when you see Elon and Vivek Ramaswamy starting to cut areas such as that. That's a good thing. That puts money back into useful programs that we need, such as infrastructure, such as taking care of the buildings that we are in full use of and keeping those up, and also the veterans and other areas that have been a little bit sucked dry on monetary involvement because it was taken and used other places. And I don't want to get into that just now because it is all coming out, folks. And the biggest fear that the left has right now is the fact that it is coming out, and they don't like it because it's going to point a finger at waste and corruption inside the legislative branch and other branches of this government that are being looked at now by this new incoming administration, and they won't look at themselves in a mirror, and in some cases they don't even have a reflection in a mirror. And I won't get into names, but let it fall where it falls. And, it's time for a new broom to sweep clean. And I feel like never before a peace in my heart that we will accomplish something here in the next 4 years that will be good for this country. I'm kind of over the fact of being told that we're going to push this through on an executive order and push that through on an executive order, and then we all have to use different names and banking, and it's just ridiculous at what they tried to do. And thank God that we didn't end up with this unrealized gains tax that she was talking about, because that would have been the death knell in the coffin of business here in the United States as we know it or knew it. That's all going to come back. I don't believe that John Deere is any longer talking about moving, but we'll see where that goes. There's been a lot of layoffs just before the election. A lot of businesses closing. If you look at, if you're a Big Lots fan, there's a lot of Big Lots stores that are going to be closed up. Right here in Elizabethton, Tennessee, there is one that has a big sign all over the front windows, closing. And is there bargains to be had in these places? I don't know, but Walmart itself is now going to close some area stores that are not, or either have been in the criminal zones that have been looting these places, or in an area where people are just not making enough money to go shopping like they used to. We're running into the Thanksgiving buying, holiday buying time of year, and we're looking forward to a lift in some of that based on the fact that people are feeling more comfortable about their jobs, and also about the economy turning around and the price of goods being lower in the near future. So I expect that you'll see some increased buying around the Thanksgiving holidays as well as the Christmas holidays. And by the way, we're going to say here at the Kaiser Report, Merry Christmas and not Happy Holidays. Now, Happy Holidays belongs in Thanksgiving. Christmas is Christmas, and there's a reason for the season. And remember that and never forget that. You can no longer disregard God after watching this election and understanding that a lot of people went back to prayer to make this happen, and the prayers were heard. And if you have ever prayed for something in your life and I'm not talking about monetary things, but if you have prayed for something in your life and gotten the answer that you so sorely needed, then you will believe what I'm telling you now. God's hand was all over this election. God's hand was a savior to Donald Trump when, by a centimeter, almost died on the stage in front of half the country watching. So don't discount that. And we need to pray every day. We need to say, dear God, thank you for your help in this election. And dear God, please stay with America and help us be a better, more productive, kinder, gentler society. And may we all get along, no matter what color, no matter what country you come from, or what creed you follow. We're all brothers and sisters in God's love, and never, ever forget that. So I've got one more little short to show you here. I'll put that up, and then we'll get back to you and say goodbye here shortly.
So the entire genesis of that G7 conversation was tied to your predecessor, who is about to launch another campaign. So how do you reassure them, if that is the reason for their questioning, that the former president will not return, or that his political movement, which is still very strong, will not once again take power in the United States?
Well, we just have to demonstrate that he will not take power by, if he does run, making sure he, under legitimate efforts of our Constitution, does not become the next president again.
I am your retribution. I am your retribution.
Well, Mr. President-elect and former President, and Donald, congratulations. And looking forward to having, like we said, a smooth transition. Do everything we can to make sure you're accommodated, what you need. And we're going to get a chance to talk about some of that today. So
Good.
Welcome
Thank
back.
you. And, thank you very much. And politics is tough, and it's in many cases not a very nice world, but it is a nice world today, and I appreciate it very much. And a transition that's so smooth, it'll be as smooth as it can get, and I very much appreciate that, Joe.
You're welcome.
But the work is done. It always will be. I am inevitable.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. We love coming to you every day with our commentary on what we feel is going on. And I did tell you that Kaiser was at the groomers yesterday. He came back a handsome man, but we were out earlier today in the rain, and he's over there on the sofa and a little shaggy, but we'll try to get you a real quick pic, and I'll put it up here at the end of the broadcast. But anyway, it is Thursday. We're embarking on a weekend. Please don't forget our sponsor here, Lazy J Farms and Butcher Shop, located in Kingsport, Tennessee on Bloomingdale Road. Their phone number is 423-398-5595. That's 423-398-5595. Give Butch over there a call. Tell him how you want your steaks cut or how you want your chicken done, and he'll cut it up and have it ready for you. And don't forget to tell him Kaiser sent you, and you'll get a good deal. So until tomorrow, Friday morning, we're going to say we'll sign off here. Stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned to the Kaiser Report for some laughs and some news and some commentary. Bye-bye now. God bless you.